Okay, so I've mixed the next batch of plaster, and one of the concerns is when you've got air pockets and holes in your plaster. So it's quite important when you're doing a double pour like this, to try and make sure that the plaster gets into those nooks and crannies. It's a quite uneven surface, so that kind of milky double cream runny stage is pretty vital. So I'm going to start slowly again, like I did the first time, and hopefully capture the uneven surface. So just gently letting this flow. It's quite a therapeutic and, well, just a nice experience really, working with plaster, I find, these sorts of techniques. So I'm just keeping an eye on that wall. I'm worried that the plaster's going to breach the wall quite quickly this time, because obviously we've got less space now. Just going to give that a bit of a stir. I can feel it. Sometimes with your plaster it's a good idea to stir in between, because it thickens at the bottom. You know, you've just got to keep the mix nice and consistent. So I've got a good volume of plaster here. I've just got a little breach there at this side here. It's not the easiest of techniques. Use my spatula to just pull up a bit. It's still quite creamy and runny. I need it to go off a little bit more before I can pull up better. So I'm going to try not to move this plaster that's in the tub now, because the more I stir it, the quicker that's going off, and I want a little bit of remaining plaster to do, and to try and go again really over this. It's going to be fascinating, isn't it, to remove the clay and see what we've got on the inside, see what detail it's revealed. And we have to wait for this plaster to completely dry out before we can attempt to put it in the kiln. So, there's quite a lot of process work. So I think, working on a secondary project while this is having its drying time is quite valuable. Yeah, this is more like ice cream when you've left it out the freezer. This is really nice now for adding a layer of thickness. Still got to watch them walls. It's going to pour out a little bit, but because it's going off quite quickly now, it's not going to go too far, you know. Oops, that was a big splash. I've now got that all over my jacket. It's a messy process. You've got to be prepared for this, so you know, make sure you've got your apron on, unlike me today. Don't know what I was thinking really. Yeah, this is looking quite good. So just pulling that up there before I remove this wall. Just see where I'm getting with that. I need to just remove the wall really to know fully. So here goes. We might have a little bit of a breach because it's quite soft compared to last time when I moved it. Not bad though, look, not bad. There's a little bit of clay there. Really hoping this is enough. It's quite a lot of plaster that we've mixed. So just remembering that while we're doing this, we're making this plaster mould so that we can create something called an open cast mould. So this means that it's open on the face of it. So you know, when we take it off the table, it'll be like a dish, like a vessel, and we're going to cast glass in that, as opposed to casting something which is lidded, or has a very small opening. Let's see where we're at. Oh, much closer, still a little bit to go here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm looking for trying to find my ring of my felt tip mark. Yeah, there it is. That's a bit of clay that's got in there. So if I keep that fairly centred, hoping sort of carving away. I'm sorry if I'm in your way on the camera, but I'm trying to keep the template centred. I keep hitting a bit of plaster around here that's gone off really hard. It doesn't matter if it's slightly out, but I really need this plaster that I'm removing. I need to get that up here on the top because there's a gap here. So I'm taking it off and I'm applying it on, but I'm pushing it down to try and make sure that you know, I've got any air in there is out. If you feel lumps, discard it. So you kind of don't want debris in it. Clay and plaster react badly together in a kiln, they explode, so it's a tricky one. So any lumps and bumps that you feel, there shouldn't be plaster. There shouldn't be clay in there because you know, the wall is quite consistent. I feel like there's a bit of clay there actually. Let's get that out. Yeah. I feel like I've got quite a good form. It's pretty close, is that? There is a bit of a gap there. It looks like it's quite thin there. But you know what? I think I might risk it. Because I think it's pretty sound elsewhere. It's a bit thick going down. Let's just try and move that a bit. I think I'm going to go with that. So obviously everything about this is a little bit hit and miss. You know, it's very experimental, and the way that we've approached getting the thickness of the walls of the plaster, you know, is quite basic. You know, you would definitely have equipment in the real world, as it were, to do this in a more measured way, shall we say. You know, but we're just giving this a try. So I'm quite pleased with that, and I think it's something that's doable in the workshop. So I'm looking forward to that drying out and trying my Pate de verre glass on the inside once I've removed the clay. Right, I'm going to turn this video off, and hopefully that's been really useful to you.